Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how you can improve your memory and learning. And what I'm going to share is a couple of ideas that if you'll implement them, I can guarantee you it will help you retain things better and improve your overall functioning and outcomes in your life. You know, in life, we are learning things all of the time. Part of the problem is, though, if you're like me, I learn things and then I forget them, and then I have to relearn them, and then sometimes I forget them again. So the problem oftentimes is not so much about learning, but it's about retaining what we're learning and then being able to pull it out when we need it at the times that we need it. So one of the things that's important to understand, if you think about this life and how learning occurs, when we're first born, we're unable to talk, so we really don't know for sure what we know as an infant. But most of the knowledge that we have is gained bit by bit as we go through life. It's almost impossible to know something or to learn something unless you have something else to connect it to. If you think about it, in school or in other times in your life, maybe you learned or heard about some information, but it really made no sense to you. It didn't connect with anything else that you knew or understood. So it was pretty much meaningless information that you could do nothing with. But then maybe at a later time in your life, you gain some new knowledge or understanding, and all of a sudden, this information that meant nothing before, now all of a sudden connects. And it's like the light goes on and, oh wow, that's really cool. So the larger base or foundation of knowledge that we have, the easier it is to gain more knowledge and information. So one of the things that we can do is just have an open mind and recognize that everything that we participate in, all of the information that comes into us, whether we think that it's useful or useless, it may appear to be useless right now, but at some other point it may become useful. So maybe changing our mindset about that and being more open to information, and instead of saying, well, that's useless, or that's really stupid, or I don't even know why they're teaching us that, we could change our questions and begin to ask, I wonder why somebody else found this information important or useful or helpful. When we begin to ask those questions, now the subconscious part of our brain opens up and goes to work looking for answers. And we may be able to find ways to connect that information to something else that could change your life or even change the world. If you think about it, how new ideas of somebody has this information, and all of a sudden it comes together in a way that's never been brought together before. And as a result, something is invented, something is changed, and our whole world changes. So be open to that. And now a couple of things that you can do that will help increase your retention and make that learning and information more useful to you. So the first thing is, when you hear some new information, spend some time thinking about it, conceptualizing it, and putting it together in your own words. So not just repeating back what was said, but looking in your own life and say, okay, well, how does this information fit with what I already know? How does this information fit with my beliefs? Does it support them or does it contradict them? And then, again, put that together in your words in a way that you understand it. And then the next thing is write it down. Oftentimes, especially when we learn something exciting or important and we think, wow, I'm so glad that I learned this. I will never forget this. Truth is that we lose, I think the statistics are that we lose up to 90% of things that we just hear. So if we'll take that, put it in our own understanding, in our own words, and then write it down. Now we can go back and review the things that we've written down in the past. I spent last night going through my journal, reviewing some of my notes and experiences, and it's amazing how much I learned that I had forgotten. So writing it down is important, and if we create a regular system of review where we go back and reread the things that we've learned, that will help us connect to more learning going on in our life and bring those things closer together. And then the next thing that we can do to help with our learning is to teach what we've learned. So we hear it, we conceptualize it, we make sense of it ourselves, we write it down so we capture it, and now we share what we've learned with other people, or we teach it to other people. As we teach it, we understand it even more, and oftentimes that will bring up questions that will cause us to think about it in a way that maybe we didn't think about it before, which will even then expand our learning. So think about it yourself, put it in your own words, write it down, share it with others, and then the next thing is begin to live it. Make it part of who you are. So now it's no longer something outside of me that somebody else taught me. It's now a part of who I am, and I don't even have to go into my memory to try to bring that out of a memory bank. It's just part of who I am. It's part of what I do. It's part of how I think. It's part of my belief system. So that's it. That's the best process to gain and hang on to new learning. Put it in your own words. Write it down, teach it to others, and then practice it. Make it part of who you are, and watch and see how new information, new learning, and making it part of who you are will change your life. So what we talked about in this video today is just a quick synopsis of what we do in our residential treatment center for teens and what we teach at our website, which is really all about becoming the best that we can be and learning how to live a life that we love, a life of happiness, successful relationships, and success in general. So if you'd like to know more, visit our website below and subscribe to our channel.